Yep.
However, excuses are really tricky. They pop up even without you even noticing. We tell each other or ourselves, all kinds of stories that there's not even an excuse. It's just like, hey,
Yeah.
I did it right. I'm just wondering, what's your system to make sure that you realize, this is an excuse. I need to deal with this, and to make sure that you go through life, following the thread of the excuses and actually living the life of zero excuses.
Well, the biggest, I, I don't want to call it a system necessarily, but I think there's a definite delineation between an excuse and a legitimate reason. An excuse it defers ownership of that event to something outside of yourself. A reason will guide you. Well, let me back up. A reason, like, is you own it. Like, I don't have knowledge of sales. That's why I am not obtaining clients. So that gives you, hey, this is my deficiency, and it identifies a path forward. Like that example that I just gave you, this is a real life example. I'm not great at sales. I'm having trouble obtaining clients. So the path forward is I need to improve my sales strategy. I need to market more. Like that involves a clear-cut strategy on how to overcome this deficiency. An excuse, you blame the economy. You blame something external from yourself. So it's not any more complicated than that. And sometimes people tend to overthink it, and they think, oh, is this an excuse or a reason? That's your telltale sign, is like, hey, is the reason identifying a path forward? And if not, then I think it's an excuse, and you need to think about it a little harder and see what part of it you can own. Like, a lot of people use their wives as an excuse for not to do something or not to pursue that big, hairy, audacious goal that they have, and they blame their wife for not doing that. Well, what piece of that can you own? Have you explained to your wife why it's so important that you reach this goal? Why this is so important? What benefit will she have from you fulfilling this goal? There's a number of things you can ask yourself to start to take ownership of that, instead of blaming, complaining, and explaining away why you can't do something. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you mentioned the example of, you can use your wife as an excuse. Of course, you can also use your kids as an excuse for
Yes.
not doing the work. But at the same time, you can use work as an excuse as to continue working and not spend the time with your wife and your kids, right? So
Yes.
sometimes it becomes a nice little little circle of excuses that, at least, that's a trap sometimes I step into. Hey man, I hope you got all the information out of this that you were looking for. If so, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you hit the bell, then every time we come out with a new video, you will be informed. For now, thanks for listening, and I hope to see you soon.